If you were raised by a narcissistic mom, then you've had more than your fair share of sibling rivalry. Yes, this is a thing. This is a thing with narcissistic families that sibling rivalry occurs. And this isn't because like you and your siblings just naturally don't get along. This was created by the dynamic in your family. Narcissistic moms do this in a couple of different ways. So one of the ways that they create sibling rivalry is that they create this dynamic where one child can do no wrong. And then yet there's another child in the family that gets blamed for everything. The one that can do no wrong is the golden child. The one that gets blamed for everything, that's the scapegoat. Because there's one child that gets blamed for everything, that scapegoat child, that might be you. That is something that is taught to the other siblings over years, decades, a lifetime. They're also taught to blame the scapegoat for everything. And that this creates a ton of conflict in the family. And also it creates this situation where everybody sees mom in a different light. So the scapegoat often is the one that can really see things for what they are. Like they know they're being treated unfairly. They know that they're not really like responsible for all the things, the bad things that happen in the family. But the other children have been conditioned to truly believe that that child is to blame. And especially if they're the golden child, they have such a different experience with mom. They have an experience with mom where mom is loving and kind and praises them. And so then you have these two children that see things in a very different way and they can't agree on things. Another thing that the narcissistic mom will do is that she positions herself in a way where she's always the go-between between the children. So if the children just have like a natural conflict, and this even happens in adulthood, like if you are an adult child, you have experienced this if you have a narcissistic mom. Your mom gets in the middle of everything. And so when the two siblings have a conflict, instead of mom trying to help them work it out, come to an agreement, grow closer, instead she will get in between and create more conflict. She may take sides, she may blame one of the children, and she just creates this whole big mess. And then when they're in this conflict, and maybe they come to her and say like, Mom, help us work this out. Then she will step back and say, I'm not going to get in the middle of this. This is between you two. This creates even more confusion. And she often will intentionally get in the middle of very, very minor conflicts with the children. And she creates, she does this thing sort of behind the scenes. It's called triangulation. Here's what it looks like. One of the sisters is getting ready to go out for the night and she realizes that her big sister took her shirt. So she says to mom, oh gosh, I'm so frustrated. She took my shirt. I was planning on wearing that tonight. And instead of mom saying something like, oh gosh, yeah, that really stinks. I'm sorry. Maybe you should talk to her about it. Instead, mom will say, well, it's not really surprising. Your sister's so selfish. Then she may go back to the sister who took the shirt and say, your sister was really upset with you that you took her shirt. She's so dramatic, don't you think? She's so sensitive. Now the two sisters have been put in a position to believe that they're at like real odds with each other over this shirt, even though it was just kind of a minor conflict that could have been worked out pretty easily. If you're the adult child of a narcissistic mother and you have had this kind of ongoing conflict with your siblings or sibling over years, maybe even decades, you still can heal those relationships. The first step in doing that is to stop blaming each other and go to your sibling and talk directly to them when there's a conflict, any kind of conflict. Your narcissistic mother does not need to be in the middle anymore.